Anyways, disregard the my stuffed animal was behind me. Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Gia, and for my segment this week, I'm going to be doing a book or books ratings and recommendations. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be giving a review and rating on all the books I have on my bookshelf, which is not many because I stopped reading for a while. I just started getting back into reading and like buying books and going to Barnes and Nobles and stuff like that. So for my first book, which is an old one that I read a long time ago, is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This author is very popular on TikTok right now, or on Book Talk, or whatever you want to call it. This is my first book that I read from her, and I absolutely love it. As you can see, I have all my little annotations, which I do on some books and some others I don't. Let me take a break. I feel like I'm just going so fast. I'm so nervous. Jeez. Okay, anyways. So, yeah, so I like this book a lot. Like, I fell in love with this book. This is like the book that kind of got me back into reading so many books again. So this book, from what I can remember, it's been a while. I'm trying to read the back, hold on. Okay. So this book is about a young girl who ends up starting her own little flower shop. The main character's name is Lily. There ends up being a love interest in this one as well. You know, all my books are pretty much romance. And yeah, they definitely, without spoiling, they have a toxic relationship, and you know, she finds herself sort of being in the same relationship that her parents went through, and there is another love interest, which is somebody from her past that comes up in that whole thing. So if you're into that, the whole two lovers thing, this is the book for you. I did cry at the end, and there is some things about domestic violence, so just a little trigger for that one. I gave that one a 5 out of 5 as well. The one that follows up with that one, I didn't necessarily read it afterwards, but it's called It Starts With Us. So remember, It Ends With Us is the first one. It Starts With Us is the second book. This one I rated it a 4 out of 5. Definitely was more of it Ends With Us stand than It Starts With Us, because I don't know why, but It Ends With Us had a lot more drama, and I don't know why, but I'm into that. It was a lot more going on. This one is definitely a softer love story, but the main character deserves it, trust me, like, she deserves it. Another one I ended up reading is Ugly Love, also by Colleen, and wow, this book, if I could give it a 10, it's just beyond. I absolutely love this book so much. The main character is trying to follow, you know, her path and career of nursing. She ends up meeting somebody who is more so like broken, and she tries to sort of like, I don't want to say fix, but she tries to like fix him or whatever. And so yeah, this is an Ugly Love. Do not take that title lightly. Ugly Love is definitely, it's a really sad book, I'm not gonna lie. It's like really, I don't know, you go through the motions for sure. So, but that one, it's a good one. I definitely recommend. Next is Verity, also by Colleen Hoover. This one is different than any of her other books that I've read. This one is more like of a thriller. I read this one in a whole day. Wow. This book, 5 out of 5 for sure. So this book is about a young aspiring writer like being hired to finish off a book series for this other writer, Verity, who was injured and needs medical help, and now she just can't complete the rest of the books of the series. So Lowen is hired to do so, and to be able to fully, is that the word, immerse? Yeah, to fully like immerse yourself in the series and really grasp, you know, Verity's style of writing and which kind of direction she was trying to go with the books, she is asked to live in the home in which Verity lives in with her family, her husband and her son. And she's asked to like stay in her office and like really like become Verity in a way. And this is because this is more like of a thriller. Weird things happen in the house. Lowen gets kind of creeped out and like weird things happen. But there is also love interest in this book, but I will not say no more. The last book that I finished recently is another Colleen Hoover book, November 9th. I absolutely love this book. I finished it last night. I was bawling my eyes out, literally like profusely like crying. Like I was so sad. Because there are some heavy topics in this book. Like for example, the main character, Fallon, she is a burn survivor, and you know, she has a lot of insecurities, especially being an aspiring actor. Even though she was a childhood actor, she tries to fall in love with her passion again. But it's hard because, you know, in that industry, looks is a big thing, unfortunately, and she doesn't meet those requirements, I guess, anymore, like the societal standards. So she tries to find, you know, confidence again. She's very low self-esteem. She ends up meeting this guy named Ben, who's a writer. And he basically, I don't want to say makes her, but he allows her to find her confidence again. But this might spoil the rest of the book, but a lot of crazy things happen. Ben is not at all who he sets out to be, honestly. But yeah, it's like one of those books that the author makes you fall in love with the love interest, and you just, wow, he's such a good person, and then in the end it's like completely shatters that. There is talks about suicide as well in this book, so just a trigger for that. And yeah, I rate this one. What did I rate it on Goodreads? I believe I rated it, I forgot what I rated it. I think I rated it a 4 out of 5, or a 5 out of 5. I don't even remember. I think maybe like a 4.5, to be honest. You're not allowed to put down Goodreads, but I'm gonna just say it didn't necessarily blow me away. I keep talking so fast, but I think it was a good book. I did read like not even a chapter, stopped, and then come back to this book, and then I just finished it yesterday. Like I literally, the part of the reason why I'm obsessed because I stopped reading this one about like a couple, not even like maybe 2 chapters in. Then I read this whole book, which is like 300 something pages, and you know, I did not like that book. So I feel like if I would have never read that book and I would have, you know, continued with this one, I would have loved it. It's just because it wasn't enough going on in the beginning for me. I feel like they gave her a whole introduction, which obviously that makes sense, but I just wasn't really into it. Especially because I read this book after, I started reading this book after I read Ugly Love, and I was just so obsessed with this book and the characters in this book, I just couldn't, like, I was just still in this world. Which ironically, if you read this book, and you're like, oh, I just need this feeling of this book again, like I wish I could go back to the first time I read this one, then read this one. I believe, I'm not too sure if this book came after Ugly Love, but they are actually in the same world. I don't know if other characters are from her other books, but these characters are in the same world. And what's his name? So the 2 main characters, Tate and Miles, are referenced in this book as like being friends of like the other couples and like the family. And so yeah, and there's a surprise in this one about Tate, which I loved, and I had to text Kayla as soon as it happened because I was like, oh, so cute. Look at the camera. This is my brother. You guys have probably seen him in my other videos.
Well, I'm taking off my sweater.
Okay, can you leave now? I have to finish the video.
Wow, me.
Unless you want to do the outro for me.
I hope you guys enjoyed this week's segment. Come back for next week's video. Bye. Okay, that's it.